Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. You know what's wrong?
What's wrong?
That's music.
There it is.
Welcome everyone to Wrestling with the Paranormal. And today we're talking about a hideous, horrible, gruesome thing the devil made me do. Hello, everyone. Welcome, to Wrestling with the Paranormal. And as always, we have Levisabel watching.
What's
Hey,
that?
Levisabel. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
I'm here too. Don't forget about me. Let me do something before I do my intro, though. Right now, I'm just gonna boom, full screen. Nobody else could see that, but I just full screened it on my screen. Anyway, I'm here with you too on Wrestling with the Paranormal. You know what? I'm not a blue case of Excel mints. I'm not a case of blue dice. I'm not
Dungeons
even
and Dragons.
a blue car.
Is that a Batmobile?
It is the Batmobile. But I upgraded it a little bit.
Nice.
Cool, hey? I'm Craig the Gray. Damn it!
Damn it.
It's a special episode.
It is a special episode.
It's a super duper special episode. What should we tell everybody?
We had the honors of being the first show on Effin' Wrestling to break the news.
Breaking news! Hit the breaking news. Where's the breaking news? Hit the breaking
We don't
news
have the breaking news anymore.
Oh. Okay, well, breaking news.
All right, I'm gonna play the video so we don't have to explain what the breaking news is. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
I'm hitting you.
Hit me harder. Hit me hard. I can't feel it.
You know what?
Hit me harder, damn it.
I'm trying to.
Oh my god.
Here you go. We've been talking about. Look at this! I got cake.
I have a little special treat.
What do you
for
got?
myself.
Look at this cake.
That looks delicious, by the way. What kind of cake is that?
That's Black Forest. It's a small little cake, but it looks damn good.
I purchased. Look at this gleaming fresh egg tart.
Egg?
You know what? Egg tart. This was made.
I thought it was a lemon tart.
There's probably some lemon in there. You've never had an egg tart? This was made with 1,000 eggs for each subscriber.
Should we take a bite and
to Wrestling with Paranormal? Are you ready for this?
Okay, let's take a bite. Let's celebrate.
Okay. In celebration.
Don't yaw. We might have to eat later.
Oh my god! So eggy and so tarty.
Eggy.
You should try an egg tart. They're sweet, but they're made with eggs. It's kind of like a meringue. Have you ever had a meringue?
So celebration, but I just want to say thank you to every single person that has watched this episode and any of our shows. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, this is the thank you emoji, but thank you so much for watching our shows and subscribing. I'm almost going to tear up talking about this.
I'm pretty proud of us. I'm proud of everybody at the Effin' Wrestling podcast, everybody who made the magic happen. And you've put so much work into it, Canada Dry. You're like a cornerstone of persistence and determination. And it's a pleasure to do this show with you, and it's a pleasure to present our show to all our subscribers. But also, if you're watching right now and you haven't subscribed, you can be part of the 1K here. Boom. Now we're going, you know what the next? Road to 2K. Road to 2K, baby!
2K Paranormal.
2K, 2 Paranormal.
Oh.
We should, if we make it to 2K, what should we do for the people? We should do something really special.
Well, do you know we're actually, should we see what number we're at now?
Where are we at? It's skyrocketing. It's this is amazing.
We're at 1,036.
Oh, damn.
We just got 1,000 yesterday, and we're already at 1,036.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Steam is building up. That's not a phrase. Momentum is building.
Momentum. We got momentum. You know, when someone has 1,000 subscribers, people just want to support you because they're like, oh, they don't even need my support, so I'm giving it to them.
That's right. That's right. If it's good enough for 1,000 people, it's good enough for you. Effing podcast. Boom.
Let's see what George has to say. George says, emojis.
Hell yeah.
1K subs.
The
road to 2K. 2K game sponsors us. That's a good idea.
There should be Wrestling with the Paranormal video game. Yeah.
Speaking of games, what a perfect segue.
What a great segue. It's like George playing it. Okay.
And we have a new intro for the retro video game of the week. Get ready for this.
Fire!
Oh, yeah. Fire. Good one. Whoa, now I'm falling. Ah, help me. Whoa. Oh, ow. Hey, that could land me. Hey, I fell. Scene 1. Fire, we got to get April out of here. All right, player 1. That's me. I'm Leonardo, the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in the history of the world. Hey, guys, what's up? I like your purple outfits. Did you get them at the Gap? Let's see. More purple Gap outfits. You guys kind of look like Cobra from G.I. Joe. Hey! I like getting kicked in the face. Hurry up. Okay, better hurry up. All right, should I go up these stairs? Nope, not going up those stairs. They're shooting bowling balls at me. I don't feel like getting hit with a bowling ball right now. Okay, let me see. Here we go. More Gap outfits. Hey! Oh, I don't know you. Never mind. I thought you were Steve. All right, here's you guys coming out of the elevator. I'd be leaving the elevator too if it was burning. Hey, it's my favorite robot. Don't resist you. How can I resist you? I love you. You're my favorite robot. Oh no, I broke my favorite robot. Oh well. All right. Hey, April. What are you doing standing there? You look like a gimp. You know, animation back in these days when this game was made, they just didn't know how to make a damsel in distress. You know, the damsel in distress that April O'Neil is here, she does not looking good. Just said, hey, it's Barney the dinosaur making a cameo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. All right, here we go. Wait. Here we go. Oh, he's got a gun. Oh, real creative. Get out a gun. You know what? I'm a ninja. Using a gun with against a ninja, it's not gonna work. All right, here you go. You're blinking red. That's bad for you. So, I just want to let everyone know, if you're blinking red, go see your doctor because it means you're gonna die. At least that's what it is in video games. If you're blinking red. Shredder. Oh, and he just takes it. Well, that's bullshit. And that's the retro video game of the week. And that was the retro video game of the week.
I ate my chart.
What?
I ate my chart while the retro video game of the week was playing.
You ate your tart. I know. I was watching you eat in the little box underneath.
I like the new intro.
Damn tart.
Oh, the new intro And the music, it's like that techno music. It makes me want to dance like this stuff.
But it also feels 80s too at the same time.
You ever dance like this?
So who was your favorite turtle?
Oh, Raphael. Loose cannon. Raphael. Gotta love Raphael.
I liked Leonardo, so it was good that I got to pick him.
I also think that even though Leonardo's the leader, he has good leadership skills. I actually think Raphael is the best fighter.
Well, Google said that Leonardo was.
See, here's the thing. Michelangelo parties too much, so he's not a very good fighter. He's eats too much pizza. Donatello is more into technology and working with like electronics, so he probably doesn't practice as much as Raphael. And Leonardo meditates all the time with Splinter, so he doesn't have time to practice. So clearly, Raphael's the one who's fighting the most. Plus, Raphael goes off on his own and beats up like muggers.
Isn't Raphael a bit of a hothead, though?
He's a hothead. He's always leading the team, like in the movie when he left the team and got beat up by a bunch of Foot Clan. Also, did you notice in that game when you beat up a Foot Clan, their body, it has a little explosion? What's up with that? Just like a little explosion.
Were they part robot?
Oh, yeah, they're robots in the cartoon show.
Are they?
In the cartoon, remember, they're robots.
Oh, right.
Are they? Yeah, in the cartoon, they're robots.
Were they clones?
No, I think they're robots. I think like Krang builds them. He just builds them in the technical.
All right, which leads us to our next segment. Bowl or Truth with Led Disciple.
Bowl or Truth.
Bring him in. Hey, Led Disciple, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Did you hear about the good news?
Yes.
Did you have something to eat with us?
I have these very, very addicting candy apple flavored Werthers. I don't really know if you can see that.
Eat a Werther's.
But these are very good. I recommend them if you haven't tried them.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat another piece of cake since he ate his tart.
I have a secret. I ate my tart, but
Man took the one bite challenge.
I actually bought two. I bought two tarts.
Two. Man took the one bite challenge. There you go. That's what they look like.
There you go. Ooh, those look delicious.
The one bite challenge.
Apple, you say?
Yeah, so it's caramel coated, and then it has apple goo in the inside. Well, it's not too gooey, so
to celebrate 1K, man.
Happy 1K, going down.
Happy 1K.
All right, that's one. Now you have 999 more to go. Keep going. You're gonna eat 1,000 of those on the show today. That's how you're celebrating.
Yeah, keep eating. No, just kidding. So, what do you have for us today? I'm excited. We beat you last week. I beat you the week before. Craig is 1-1.
You gotta let him chew. You gotta let him chew. Gotta give him a moment to enjoy the delicious Werthersness. A Werther's moment, if you will.
Werther's moment. Hey, Werther's. Considering like
Werther's.
Considering sponsoring a podcast, I think this is the one for you. A Werther's moment. We could have a Werther's moment with Let Disciple.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
You know what? Mountain Dew. Sponsor us too.
We'll take anyone. At this point, we'll take anyone.
I'll keep drinking Newman's own Alfredo sauce.
Newman's, if you want to sponsor us, Newman.
Newman.
I heard as soon as we get to 2K followers, 2K starts sponsoring you.
I hope that would be cool. 2K games.
They should make a video game.
Let's get into it. What do you got for us today?
I have another story.
Well, that's the idea of the segment.
So the story begins in the middle of the night. Now, I'm just going to give him this fellow, he's called, he has George, but I'm just going to call him George 2.0, so he's not stealing my whole gimmick here.
All right.
Having my name, because I'm more thrilling. But, so, during the middle of the night, George 2.0 is sleeping. And he's randomly waking up. And he starts feeling like there's someone in his room.
Are they grabbing his
and
ass?
They could,
Anyway, sorry. Well, I wanted to that.
but but and he tries going back to sleep, and he's tossing and turning in his bed, rolling over, and anytime he just looks at a random dark part in the corner, he feels like there's a presence there, like a dark presence that kind of has an aura to it. And so he tries to go back to sleep. He's tossing and turning, and he doesn't know what's going on. So right before he gets up, he can see this presence moving about just fast, kind of like from one end of the room to the other. And right before he gets up, he's kind of like at the awake phase when you're sleeping during the middle of the night before you just awake and your eyes have already adjusted to the dark.
Yeah.
So you can kind of have like a little kind of like night vision, but not really night vision.
Yeah.
And so this presence that he was feeling in this room while he was sleeping the entire time was his little demon cat that got onto his shelf, was watching him from up above, and just jumped right on him, right on his face, scared the crap out of him as he jumps out of bed and falls everywhere. He knocks everything over, and he gets up, hits the lights, to find out this presence he was actually feeling while he was trying to sleep during the middle of the night was his little furball demon kitten.
A real cat.
Well, he was black. The cat is
It's a real cat, though, right?
black. Yes. But we also have, was his presence actually his cat that he was feeling in his room, standing or moving about?
Okay, let's start dissecting this here.
Okay.
There's lots of details, which makes me think it's a real story, right?
Is that your final answer, though, or you just?
I think it's real because the way they told it, and there's so many details, and nothing is outside of the realm of the possible. And yeah, I think it's real. I think I'm going with truth on this one. Big T.
Okay. Paranormal. You seeing this? When you said demon cat, I thought maybe it was a ghost cat. So I was leaning to it's not true. But with the fact that it's a real cat, my cat, he causes all sorts of shit in the night. Bang, boom, crash, whatever. So I'm also going to say that this is true.
That's your final answers.
Our final answers.
Final answers.
You did exceptionally well. Congratulations.
Yes.
You
See,
have haven't fooled us. Well, you fooled them once.
I thought this one might like change. This actually happened to me really early this morning. So I kind of thought, what if for 1K sub special, I throw in a paranormal story that happened to me and try and trick you guys. But you did good. Look at that, you get 2 thumbs.
So
It's paranormal-ish.
Your cat woke you up?
Yeah, and the dog I have. She's
fell over? So this is based on a true story then.
Yes, because my little kitten, she likes getting on my little stand I have by my bed, and she just happened to start roaming about during the middle of the night and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna mess with shit." And she gets up, I'm moving around, and next thing I know, I see her. She's in the air, boom, right on top of my head. Scares the ever living crap out of me.
My cat has his own water cup. He only drinks out of a cup, and I had the cat dump his water on me in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Ooh,
like that was a rude awakening. The water getting poured on you.
At least he didn't grab your hand and put your hand in the cup.
Well, that would be even worse. That would be a demon cat right there. He's like, meow, 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 meow. Sorry about your luck. All right, George, we're running rapidly. We haven't told the main event story, so we're going to have to see you later. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your
next
word.
Alrighty. Yes, thank you. Enjoy the 1K subs. Congratulations.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, do that.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Alrighty, always a
Later,
pleasure.
George.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, George. What a thrill master. Always thrilling to
So
hear
thrilling.
stories. Very thrilling.
So we also have, this is going to happen tomorrow as well. We're going to celebrate on the magic of wrestling. Then we're going to celebrate on just another podcast. We're going to have a draw as well on the show.
For the free t-shirt?
Yeah, give away a shirt.
3 days in a row, you're having 3 celebrations.
3 celebration shows.
Just stay tuned here all weekend, folks. You don't need to go to any other YouTube channels.
We are the show. We are the channel.
You are like the big show. You're the big show. I'm going to start introducing you as the big show. And here with me, ladies and gentlemen, is the big show. Canada Dirt Dry.
All right, so let's get into our main story.
I think we should warn people this one's dark. This is dark.
We had a lot of laughs for leading up to this, but we got some dark stories to talk about, and this all happens in England in the 70s. And let me just say this: the paranormal stories, like exorcisms, they don't really get out there that much, right?
As
You don't really hear about it
on the news.
Yeah, you don't hear about it on the news. So one of the big ones was in 1949, the exorcism of Robbie Mannheim. And it was just this brutal exorcism. And it actually led to the story of the exorcism. They made the exorcism based on that.
The Exorcist. But they
Yes,
changed because Bobby's a boy, right? So they changed it to a girl being possessed. That's
right.
Interesting. That's interesting because the film is about a girl, so that's weird. Yeah.
And then you have Annalise Mitchell. And this is tragedy. She actually dies in this exorcism. And that leads to the 2000 and what's the date on that movie? 2005 movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's based on Annalise Mitchell. Which brings us to this story of Michael Taylor. Now, Michael Taylor is a nice guy. He's from a town called Ossett Village, and this is near Yorkshire in England. And it's a nice little town. Everyone seems to go to church there, and it all starts. This whole big story starts when a lady notices a man naked on the street, and he's covered in blood. And she's freaking out. She's calling the cops. And what leads to Michael Taylor being covered in blood, yelling on the streets, yelling something about Satan? What leads to all this? So it turns out that he's like, everyone talked about him as this nice man, that he was a loving husband, that he was a great father of 5 kids. And people would often say that they heard laughter coming from their home. Now, one day, he's doing some repairs in the home, and he's in the rafters, and he falls, and he injures his back, and he begins to experience chronic back pain, and it gets to the point where he has to quit his job because he can't do that work anymore.
Do you know why they call it chronic back pain?
Because you need drugs.
Because it keeps coming back.
That's true. I thought you were getting into the I'm a chronic with the weed.
No, chronic means that it keeps coming back.
Oh, I guess that's the same with weed, with chronic pot smokers, I guess.
Wow. You went there. I didn't go there. You went there. Ladies and gentlemen, he'll say anything, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll say
He's
anything.
the big
I
show.
don't care.
He's the big show. He'll say anything.
I'll say anything. So he starts suffering some severe depression as well as the chronic back pain. And so he goes a couple months without work, and he has to find a new job. And so he eventually gets a job as a butcher. Now this is such a severe pay decrease from his regular job. I didn't catch what he did before this, but he I guess it was more. And at first he's like just happily enjoying his job, and eventually this resentment starts growing that he's not making the same amount of money as he was. And he starts acting cold to friends and coworkers. And his wife notices his attitude is it's slowly going rotten. And a family friend, because it's a very Christian town. Everyone goes to church. This is the question. Really, butchers don't get paid a lot, or is it the time? Like, I guess not at the time, not in England. Well, you got to remember, he's supporting 5 kids. That's a lot of kids.
True. That's a lot of kids. Yeah.
So,
you think butchers would get their cut?
I see what you did there.
I was
bringing home the
bacon. Butcher pun. Let's come up with a butcher pun. Okay.
And you think you'd get some free meat once in a while?
Yeah. I mean,
Anyways.
Little for you, little for me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Cut. He's eating raw meat at work.
Raw meat. Yum. I'm starting to think. I think I know why he got possessed. If
he's eating the raw meat.
He's eating raw meat.
He's just losing it. All the bacteria in his brain. So he gets a family friend. I think her name is Barbara Brookbank. I think it is. It doesn't really matter what her name is. So she's not really consequential to the story too much. Is that she?
Wow. Okay. I think Barbara's important. Yeah. You know what, Barbara? If you're listening, you're important to me.
She's not important. She's the very Anyways, so she invites him to this prayer group, and this prayer group is a Pentecostal charismatic Christian group, and that was very big in the 70s. The charismatic movement was growing quite strong in the 70s, around 74 to around 80. And so anyways, he starts going to the group, and they accept him immediately. And the leader, her name was, you got her name?
Robinson? Mary Robinson?
Marie
Marie
Robinson. The leader is Marie
it's
Robinson.
Not important. She's not important either.
She is very important.
Apparently nobody's important. I don't know.
Marie's important to the story.
Right, but Barbara wasn't.
Sure. Oh, screw Barbara.
Got it. All right.
Anyways, Barbara's important. Okay. If your name's Barbara, we love you. That's my mom's name. So I love Barbara.
Yeah. And subscribe.
So anyways, so Marie immediately is taken to Michael. She begins to favor him, and she's 21 and she's already the leader of this prayer group, and she's like, I think she was a bit prideful because she's talking about how she's very connected to God and she can exorcise demons, and she would just brag about her spiritual abilities. And Michael is very drawn to her. I guess she's an attractive 21-year-old girl, and he begins spending a lot of time with her. And his wife and the group, they begin to think that Marie and Michael Taylor are having an affair. And this is all happening, and it they even he would go over right after dinner and go to the church even when meetings weren't happening. Any chance he got, he would spend with Marie. He would even this is an odd one, I thought. They would even pray against the full moon. Marie and Michael, they would spend time praying against the full moon.
What does that mean?
Because she said it weakens her abilities.
See, they know the moon is evil too, because it's a giant space station. That's why it's weakening her abilities.
Well, you better get that shirt, because without that shirt,
if you're listening, just gotta nuke the moon. That's what we gotta do. Okay?
Buy the Nuke the Moon
get
shirt.
her on board. Buy a Nuke the Moon shirt. It'll strengthen your abilities. Trust me.
So it comes about that his wife Christine, she's really concerned. She thinks he's cheating, and since everyone's Christian, she decides to go to group with him one day, and confront him there, because Marie's there, he's there, and he wanted Michael to confess his sin in front of everyone, and so she says, "You have an affair. I want you to confess." And instead of confessing, he starts snarling, and he just turns into this beast. And he doesn't take it out on his wife; he takes it out on Marie, and he starts getting up and getting all in Marie's face and trying to get at her. And the whole group is kind of holding him back from hurting Marie. And she starts praying in tongues, and she starts proclaiming the name of Jesus, and it works. After an hour of he gets back to normal, and the next day he doesn't remember any of it. And it turns out that she decides to forgive him and lets him come back in the group, but they say something needs to be done because there's something not right. And so they contact the Anglican Church and someone else, I forget who it was, and they agree, and you're probably going to tell us, and they agree to do an exorcism. And so with that, I'm making the tag. Oh, that was a grade 9 tag.
Grade 9 tag. Okay.
Grade 9.7.
Grade 9.7. Okay. So you got Michael Taylor. He's had this rage at the meeting, at the prayer group. That's right. I forget Craig nuked it. Well, if you had your T-shirt, George, you wouldn't forget, because it would be hanging up on your wall to remind you every morning that you should nuke the moon. Yeah, and Michael's also being aggressive to his family. So, people need they get this exorcism organized. The two people who are taking part.
Right, I forgot to mention he was being as he's kind of dating Marie, his actions towards his wife are getting actually violent. Even
he's being very aggressive, towards his family. Yeah, Father Peter Vincent and Reverend Raymond Smith. So they are going to be the two exorcists, and they decided to do this exorcism on Saturday, October 5th at 10 p.m. Late night exorcism at the church. I don't know if that's a good idea. Don't you think you should do exorcisms in the daytime?
I'm gonna do my exorcisms in the daytime.
Yeah, I'm not a specialist or anything, but I feel like I'd feel safer in the middle of the day.
If me and you ever do an exorcism, we're doing it in the day.
Yeah, like maybe have breakfast, get a coffee, get a nice strong coffee, pick a nice bright sunny day, right? And then go do the exercise.
Maybe do it in the park where you feel open.
Yeah, feel really safe. Maybe have some children and dogs around.
Yeah.
And but they decided to do it at 10 p.m. at the church. Now, once they start doing this exorcism, Michael Taylor immediately starts reacting. He starts hissing, he starts spitting, he starts cursing, all of the signs of demonic possession. He's scratching himself. Now, the two exorcists, they figure out or decide, from doing their things, that there's 40 demons. 40 demons possessing Michael Taylor. Okay? We never talked about this on this show before. I was pretending I was. No, I'm not going to pretend. I don't know if you should do that. What time is it? It's not a good time. But see, we've talked a little bit about demonic possession, maybe here and there, and we've talked about demons for sure. But to think that 40 demons could be possessing him, that's a lot. Deep in his mind, they list some of these demons, and now when they're listing these demons, it just sounds to me a lot of them are just kind of like sins. So they say he's been possessed by the demon of masochism, carnal sin, the demon of incest, blasphemy. These just sound like, bad things that the church doesn't like.
Yeah, one of them was...
Each one has a demon. I don't know how that works.
One of them was bestiality. I'm like...
Bestiality, yeah.
Where'd you come up with that?
Yeah. I think this exorcist is telling me more about these two priests than it is about Michael Taylor. Like, they're just like, I feel the demon of bestiality. It seems kind of, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't think they were good at their job.
Well, it takes them 8 hours. So it's 6 a.m. by this point. And exercising him for 8 hours. Usually 8 hours of exercise is a good thing. But
how do we laugh about this? Like you got a joke in there.
You got to throw an exorcism joke in there. Yeah. So they can't even get all the demons out of him. They're tired. They're worn out. They're done. They can't do any more. They got to send him home. They can't do any more of the exorcism. They run out of energy. They run out of steam. Even though he still has 3 demons possessing him, they send him home. The wife of the reverend even warns them, don't send him home. He's still not cured. Something bad's going to happen.
She had a bad feeling, right?
She had a real bad feeling. But they did. They sent him home. And we'll talk about this later. Probably not a good idea. Who knows how long exorcisms are supposed to take? All we know, George, is this one took 8 hours. George asked, how long do the exorcisms take?
Well, maybe it's 8 hours. 8 hours, time to go home. It's the end of my shift.
Oh, they clocked in. Like, all right, there's a clean 8-hour exorcism. Like, whoa, hey, we're off the clock. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, whatever happens now.
Who's paying for overtime here? Right.
We'll see you in 8 hours. 14 hours, right?
So, yeah, so they send him home. Now, the next day at noon, well, I guess it was 6 a.m, so like that day.
No, George, you cannot play Ouija while doing exorcism. It's like defeats the cause, right?
It's a double. Well, I think that's like a double whammy of just demonic forces. You don't want to go there. At noon, police officer Ian Walker is called, and this is how you started the story there. He gets a call from a woman saying that she sees a man walking down the street, naked, covered in blood. And well, actually, at first, the police officer goes to this call, sees Michael Walker, and assumes that it's red paint because you see somebody walking down the street naked, covered in red stuff. You're just hoping that it's either red paint.
Please be paint.
Spaghetti sauce, maybe like spaghetti sauce or something,
Please be a pizza accident that didn't go well.
Yeah, weird pizza accident. I got a story.
Damn those weird pizza accidents screwing
I
up.
got a story. I got a story about that later. I don't want to detract us too much from this story. Okay, so here we go. But it turns out not to be paint. It is human blood. Okay. I don't know how the police officer knew that right away. Maybe they teach you that in police training.
I believe there was a smell coming off of him as well.
And he stank. Yeah, and he was stinking. Now, Michael has no memory of what's happened. He doesn't know why he's in the middle of the street. He doesn't know why he's naked. He can't remember anything. He's just being kind of crazy and weird. The cops take him to the station. They go to his place and they arrive to a horrible, horrible mess. Okay, this is so dark. This is the true crime part of the podcast.
Every once in a while, we do them.
It's paranormal, but it sometimes gets really gruesome. So they find Christine, that's Michael's wife. She's been strangled. She's been scratched up. She's deceased. Her face
is like pretty much ripped off.
Yeah, face has been scratched off, ripped off. Their poodle has been ripped apart. That's horrible. And the police conclude, well, Michael's obviously killed his wife and also must have bathed in her blood. And that's why he's covered in blood. Now, Michael's placed is under arrest. He doesn't resist arrest, by the way. He doesn't resist at all. Then the townspeople hear about this. The newspaper hears about this. The townspeople knew about the exorcism because remember they're kind of the people who wanted the exorcism to happen. So the newspapers ramp up the devil part of the story, right? Because he had just had an exorcism the night before. Michael is sent to Broadmoor Mental Hospital. And the townspeople start blaming the Christian prayer group. So this is interesting. They start saying it's a cult, that it filled his head with ideas of demons and the devil. They even blame the priests for their inability to cast out the demons. It kind of seems like these townspeople want it both ways. They're blaming the Christian group for putting ideas of demons into Michael's heads. That kind of seems like they just think he's crazy. But then they're also blaming the priests for not performing a proper exorcism, which makes you think that then they do actually believe in demons. So it kind of doesn't make sense. You can't really blame.
Well, yeah, you got a bunch of different groups in there, right?
Yeah, you must have a bunch of different groups. I would imagine if you're less faithful, that you're going to blame the Christian group because you just think they're crazy. But if you're faithful, then you're going to blame the priest for being bad exorcists. That's basically what that.
So he only gets off with this insanity, right?
He pleads insanity. He ends up going to the mental hospital for I think 4 years of medication. But the thing is, he never sees his children again. George, I don't know. We're just going to ignore some of George's comments.
George, you don't make jokes at certain times. It's just times you don't make jokes.
Yeah, so he goes for 4 years of treatment. He never sees his kids again. But even being released, his mental state continues to deteriorate and go downhill. And then he has 4 separate suicide attempts outside of the hospital. Doesn't sound like he's doing very well. 2005, he is arrested again for.
Yeah, so this is way he's
later.
An old man right now.
But he's arrested again for sexual advances to an underage girl. So.
And after this, he doesn't have a relationship with his 5 kids.
No, I'd imagine they wouldn't let him see his kids.
But yeah, they probably didn't want anything to do with their dad. They killed their mother either, right?
Yeah, and the poodle. I mean, depending on how close they were to the poodle. Yeah. So, a couple other interesting things I want to note. So, this was a big story about exorcisms, and the Anglican Church, after this story, actually said that no more exorcisms were allowed. And apparently,
you know what it is? We're like, listen,
if you're not going to do this properly,
we're not good at this.
The thing is, though, okay,
let the Catholics do it.
Yeah, this is only in England. So the Anglican Church says they're not going to do exorcisms anymore, and they stake to this. Since the 70s, the Anglican Church has not been doing
They're
exorcism.
not anywhere in the world, not in Canada, not anywhere.
Well,
Not
just
USA.
Anglicans, though. But just Anglicans, though.
Yeah. Just
Because
Anglican
obviously there
Church.
have been, I think that, like, I've heard of exorcisms past.
Yeah, there's still exorcisms that go on today.
Yeah, people still do exorcisms. Yeah. So that's interesting that they felt like it was too much of a scandal that they weren't able to. But I wonder, though, do you think they were still doing exorcisms in secret? Like they just publicly said they weren't going to do exorcisms anymore?
Well, I think there were probably some pastors who did it on their own without talking to someone higher up.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm doing this freelance, yo.
Yeah. Interesting to think of the Vatican and the Catholic Church probably have like an exorcism committee or like a bureau of exorcism that you're supposed to like report
now
to.
That's a series. Bureau of Exorcism is the Catholic Church.
Did you ever see the Constantine movie? John Constantine.
I did. That was a good movie.
He does exorcism in that movie. I really liked the exorcism in that movie. He traps the demon in a mirror and then breaks the mirror. It's pretty cool.
Love that movie. I love the end when he's going to heaven. He's fingering the devil. It was the best.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So let's get into it a little bit here. Was he mentally deranged or was he possessed?
Okay, so it seemed like all the bad things started happening when he got that back injury. Right? Gets a back injury, is forced to become a butcher. And when you're a butcher, you're killing things. Do the butchers actually kill the animals?
This is an interesting part.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with blood,
right,
and stuff like that on a regular basis as a butcher, right?
Maybe something in him kind of snapped a little bit.
So it's playing into it.
But these are very interesting. They're very closely linked things here. Like, if he had never found the Christian group, right? Curious George. If he never found the Christian group, would he might have become possessed, but then nobody would have thought about it as a possession. And then say he still did this murder, but he never had the exorcism and never met the Christian group. If the story was just a guy forced to become a butcher and then snaps and kills his wife, we wouldn't even be talking about it on this show. It would just be a crime story, right?
Yeah, because he goes down the religious road, right?
Yeah.
But there's that problem. He's already becoming this bad person, and it doesn't make sense.
But the other thing too is he gets into a back injury. He starts becoming depressed. I think that if demons possess people, that we all have like a natural defenses, but that if you get depressed or if you start having mental health issues, that those defenses could go down, and then you might be more susceptible to
demonic attack.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Another thing is, when you're depressed, you don't fight it. You have the ability to fight depression. Like I know that people, they struggle with it, but you don't have to let it take you where it wants to go. You can ask for help, but you have the ability within yourself as well to fight it and not allow it to take you where it wants to go. And I think that's what he did. I think that's what Michael did. I think he let it take him down that road. And then when the 21-year-old woman started paying attention to him, I don't think they had an affair or anything. I just think that he was drawn to her, but now he couldn't even have her, and he knew it. And it's I think it's a combination, honestly, of the demonic and the depression all kind of together.
And then there's anger there, right? When he snaps at her, he snaps at the leader of the group during that meeting, and that's when it probably like starting to manifest in him becoming so angry and violent, right? But what do you think about this group here? Because I don't know if you mentioned this, but they claim to be able to talk to God directly. They also speak in tongues. It seems like maybe they're a bit
Well,
off
this
the
is
normal path of an Anglican prayer group. You know
well, this is very Pentecostal. This is very, very current of the movement. The Pentecostal church is still into that stuff. The charismatic churches are still into that. Being filled with the Holy Spirit is very, connected to God, and it's an experience of God rather than the rituals and stuff like that. So
But something
it's
I
very
find,
typical of that.
yeah. But I just find it. See, the thing is like because speaking in tongues, like specifically, kind of seems like someone who is, and I know it's like filled with the Holy Spirit, but it's like it's a type of possession, right? Because you lose your capabilities to do stuff on your own, and all of a sudden
You
someone's
don't. You
speaking
don't.
through
A
you.
lot of it does explain that is that you are in full control.
Okay.
Since I'm a former pastor, I can explain this to
Right.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you are in full control of the tongues. You can stop it. You can start it anytime you want. It's
Okay.
it's 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 uh, it's not a possession at all.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's see the thing is you were saying about depression is I think part of him asking for help is he when he started going to that group he was trying to find help with that group, right? And maybe just the circumstance of you're right, like maybe he just really liked this
Well, think about
woman.
the leader, a 21-year-old girl. How old is he? We don't know.
Yeah,
But
I'm just imagining since he had what 5 kids,
yeah, so
so you
he's
got to be in your
he's at least in
40s.
his 40s,
Yeah, at least.
late
Right.
30s, maybe mid 40s, and
Yeah, 5 kids
there's this
even. Yeah,
21-year-old
yeah,
charismatic, dynamic personality. She's definitely like a dynamic personality. She's leading the group, right? Um, and he's drawn to her. She's pretty and well spoken. So I think that even messed with him more. And he's looking at his wife and he's like looking at her. He's like, it's
so yeah, and when they're doing the exorcism, they're talking about um, carnal sin and masochism and blasphemy. Like maybe the priests were sensing his kind of maybe he had infidelity, like his like thoughts and stuff like that, or something. Like who knows? But it
yeah.
does seem like he had become disrupted by the things that were happening in his life.
But yeah, I think he did have demonic issues
Mhm.
because I think if he just killed her, but the way he killed her was just too inhuman.
Now, where does Barbara fit into all this?
What?
Barbara. You don't remember Barbara? She's so important to the story.
I
She's the
don't know
woman
who
who
that is.
first. She's the woman who first introduced him to the group. Okay, she probably liked Joe. What's his name again? She
Barbara
probably liked
took off
Michael.
as soon as the shit hit the fan. We never heard about Barbara again. She's like, I'm moving to another town. They're not pinning this on me.
Unless Barbara's a witch and she cursed Michael.
I wonder if someone cursed him and that's why he fell. And that started it all.
And that started all wow.
Because it seemed like he was a happy individual.
Yeah.
Things were going good. But that's very, very it's very easy to be happy when things are going good, right?
Yeah, it takes strength to pull through when things are
If you
going
can
bad.
smile
Yeah.
when things are kind of going bad, like chin up,
Yeah.
but like if things are good, you can laugh and have fun and enjoy your family. But then when things start going down, that's where the true character comes in, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's time for our knowledge is power moment, right?
Okay. Hit me.
Okay, we're gonna find out what your knowledge of power moment is. All right, what is it? Hold on, let's play the intro.
Oh, I went the wrong way. It's all reversed. It's all.
That's okay. You're gonna get another shot at this at the end.
Always. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is truly
is power.
So when people say to you, you do something that's outside of your normal behavior, like you do something weird and shocking, and somebody says to you, whatever possessed you to do that? Isn't that interesting that we say that? Whatever possessed you to do that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you shouldn't say that so lightly because people do get possessed. Okay. So I think you shouldn't say that to people. You shouldn't say, and also you shouldn't walk into a room where maybe something weird happened and you say, what the devil? Because you know what? Just keep the devil out of it.
Yeah,
maybe
keep the devil out of it.
Seems a bit extreme to say that. Don't you think it's extreme? People walk in and say, what the devil? Right? That seems a bit much.
Yeah, totally.
That's my knowledge.
So my knowledge, hey kids, if you're watching this episode, what the hell are you doing watching this episode? This isn't for you. This is dark. But if there is a child watching, I just want to let you know that we here at Wrestling with the Paranormal care about you. We care about your physical. We care about your spiritual. We just care about you. Thinking back to this episode, I thought about the part of the story when Johnny was supposed to get in that van when the guy was giving him offering candy, and he didn't get in, and he ran off and told his parents, and he was probably saved from something horrible happening to him. So remember, kids, if someone offers you candy or tells you to go look for their puppies, just say no. And remember, knowledge is power. Knowledge really is power, Craig.
Isn't George a kid? I think he's like 14,
right? He's in his 20s.
Okay, George, make sure you watch the Knowledge is Power portion of the show.
Yeah.
You still need to learn your lessons there. Yeah. All right.
What do George have to say? Oh, he's not talking right now.
Start the drums. Let's start the drums.
Start the music. Should I hit the music?
Hit the music. I'm already drumming, but there's no drums. It's kind of weird.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. What if people want a T-shirt? What if people want to like and subscribe?
They can go down the Gap and wait. If the people want a shirt, they can visit ProWrestlingTees.com/Evan Wrestling, and you can pick up one of these babies. You can pick up a Nuke the Moon. You can pick up AFW shirts. We got all tons of shirts. We got. So visit EvanWrestling.com for the latest news and stories in the world of wrestling. You can visit our Facebook page, All Effin' Wrestling. There's all the links on EffinWrestling.com. That's all you need to know. I think that's it.
I got some notes here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these notes in my hand. I don't just write these notes for no reason.
Note.
You got to remember something. You got to keep on wrestling paranormal.
Woo! So just remember, after this podcast is over, be kind and rewind so everyone else can enjoy it.
And no chewing gum.
And have your pets spayed or neutered.
And